A sample of a compound used to polish dentures and as a nutrient and dietary supplement is analyzed and found to contain 4.51 grams of calcium, 3.49 grams of phosphorus, and 6.30 grams of oxygen. What is the empirical formula for this compound? Okay, so step one in answering this problem is you need to get the moles of each element. So if you can recall, how do we get the moles? Moles is just equal to mass, so the grams, divided by molar mass. So let's start with the moles of calcium. So moles of calcium is Ca. So the mass in the problem given is 4.51 grams. Divided by the molar mass of calcium, if you check your periodic table, that's 40.08 grams per mole. So the grams cancels out. So 4.51 divided by 40.08, that is 0.113 approximately moles of calcium. Next, we have moles of phosphorus. The mass given in the problem is 3.49 grams. Divided by the molar mass of phosphorus is 30.97 grams per mole. So 3.49 divided by 30.97, that's also 0.113 moles of phosphorus. And lastly, we have oxygen. So moles of oxygen. So 6.30 grams divided by the molar mass is 16 grams per mole. So 6.30 divided by 16, that's 0.394 moles. So after getting the moles, the next step would be to put the moles as the subscript of the element. So we have calcium, the subscript is 0.113. Phosphorus, the subscript is 0.113. And oxygen, the subscript is 0.394. Then what you're going to do is you pick the smallest subscript. So the smallest subscript is 0.113. So what you're going to do with that is you will divide all the subscript by that smallest number. So you divide everything with 0.113. So calcium would now be subscript 1. Phosphorus will also be subscript 1. And oxygen, we have 0.394 divided by 0.113. That is approximately 3.5. Some students would round this to 4, but that would be a mistake. Remember, when you're solving empirical formula problems, when you get to this point and you get a decimal, like a 0.5, you don't round it up. Okay, you just retain it as 3.5. Because the next step, we need to multiply a certain number. Because in empirical formula, we don't want decimals. So we want them to be whole numbers. So we need to multiply this entire thing by 2 to remove the 0.5. So calcium would now be Ca2. Phosphorus will have subscript of 2. And for oxygen, 3.5 times 2, that would be 7. So we removed the decimal. So the empirical formula would now be Ca2 P2O7, and this is the answer to your question.